And the opposition NDC is demanding a full-blown public inquiry into the $5 million allegations against the Chief Justice, Justice Kwesi Enenyi-Yeboah. They also want the CJ to step aside whilst the Ghana General Legal Council carry out its probe into the issue. The General Legal Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu-Nketia, fears lack of transparency in the handling of the allegations would compromise public independence in the judiciary. He's been addressing the media.
It's equally important as the English presentation. So let's restrict the movement. General will finish very quickly so that we can wrap it up. Thank you.
Yeah, the first question was to find out whether we have heard, is it the case that you're asking whether we have heard about ASEPA's? No, ASEPA has petitioned. Yeah. Asking that the Chief Justice steps aside for investigations to happen. So now that there's already a petition and Shrag says we are going to investigate, should we be seeing the Chief Justice step aside for investigations? I think maybe if you had paid more attention to what we have said. We are saying that the judiciary is an independent institution of itself. It has its investigative wings and all that. It's like a self-contained institution, the same way as Parliament is. And so we are saying the person who is at the top is vested with the authority to discipline anybody within the judicial service. And this is a matter where allegations have been made or leveled against the authority that should exercise that. So if they decide to go doing their internal investigations, then it will be difficult for anybody to accept it when the Chief Justice is in office, and then he will constitute a committee which will report to him, and then it is a case against him and another person. So that's why we are saying good governance practice requires that if they choose to do that, then he may wish to step aside for somebody, whether there is his deputy or whatever, to take over and conduct that investigation, so that everybody will be assured that you are dealing with parties that don't have control over the process. That is what we have said. But we have given other options, one being Shrag, the other being public inquiry, and so on. If whatever route we choose, if his continuous staying in office will not compromise anything, then of course there is no point in him stepping aside. You understand? Unless you are able to prove that if Shrag is dealing with the matter, there are some pieces of evidence that may be within the judicial service which he may have control over it, and so on and so forth. That is a matter for Shrag to determine. But from the outside, if the matter is being investigated by an outside institution, and there is no indication that his continuous remaining in office can compromise the case, then it doesn't call for his stepping aside. But the same thing goes with the public inquiry. When the public inquiry is triggered and it is happening, that commission will determine whether his continuous remaining in office will compromise the case one way or the other. It is for them to determine. But we are saying that if it is going to be an internal thing, then he is the head of the institution, and it will be difficult to have, fair hearing where one person is the boss and you are going to litigate with him at that forum. Now, the third question is the second question, very, very interesting. Because these allegations against the Chief Justice were made as a response by lawyer Afrifa to a case which has been brought against him at the General Legal Council. So this is his response. I am not a lawyer, but I believe that where a matter is being determined, and it happens that the judge who is sitting on the case had some interest, then the judge can recuse himself. You understand? Because at this stage, the counter allegations constitute the defense of lawyer Afrifa. So you can no longer deal with lawyer Afrifa's case exclusive of this one, because in that case he will have no defense, because this is his defense. And if his defense cannot be handled in that same forum, then it is my humble opinion, unlearned opinion, that this second matter has it has overtaken the first one. It must be taken up there first to clear the Chief Justice before you can come to proceed against lawyer Afrifa. And I believe that even if there is a public inquiry, the matters against Afrifa may as well be ventilated in that public inquiry, so that by the time that inquiry comes to an end, we would have known the truth about all the allegations, whatever role lawyer Afrifa has played, whatever role the chief has played, and whatever role the CJ has played. We will know who played what role and who is deserving of punishment. And by so doing, we would have cleared the allegation, and the most important thing is that we have cleared the image of the judiciary, which seems to have been tainted by these allegations. So our prime objective is to contribute our quota in making sure that we build a democracy by ensuring that our judiciary does not belabor under any doubts about their integrity and so on. So that is why we are communicating to the public through you. This, beyond the press conference, what will the NDC do? Is it the case that in all your training institutions, this is a question you are taught to ask? At every press conference, this question is asked. And I am always very, very serious about my answer. You see? Because we believe that you also constitute the fourth estate of the realm. And you have a very... So, you can carry information from the government to the governed, and vice versa. And where it is found out that those in government or those entrusted with our power on behalf of the citizens, they are not using the power properly, then you will be on the side of the citizens to fight those utilizing that mandate to make sure that they actually use the mandate in furtherance of the interests of the good people of Ghana. So individuals like us, if we find anywhere at any time that the entrusted power in the hands of the government is subject to some abuse, we have the responsibility to tell you. And you don't turn asking us what we will be doing. after telling you. You understand? So I want you to own up to your responsibility also as a fourth estate of the realm. We have this information which we have brought to you. It is for you to also take it. See whether the power the citizens have entrusted in the government is being, or governance institutions generally, is being abused or is used properly. If you find out that it's being abused, then you bring pressure to bear on the people holding that power, which is being abused. And then you position yourself on the side of the citizens and fight the abusers of the citizens' power on behalf of the citizens. But if I come to tell you there is a war, soldier mine, and then you ask me, the civilian, what am I going to do?